Show called Inner Space, Tuesday nights to Friday nights at 11, following some fine programming that we have for you on Space Channel. But I understand I'm not the guy that you're all here to see, though my ego would certainly enjoy that. But we do want to bring him out very, very quickly, so enough about me. Just to point out the obvious, there are a whole lot of people here, so when we do open the floor up for question and answers, please keep your questions kind of short so that we can get to as many as we can. And just by show of hands, how many people here do have questions for our honored guest? Or think they might have questions? There's a few hands out there. All right, well then we'll just talk a whole lot and have some fun. Don't really have much else to say. Let's get to the introduction. Obviously, what can I say about Star Wars that hasn't already been said? It's now a 30-year phenomenon, 30 years plus. It's become a cultural phenomenon, a religious experience for some people out there. People get married in Jedi robes and everything. It's something special to a lot of us. And it's my honor to introduce one of the most beloved characters, the man behind the makeup, the mask, the prosthetics. It's Peter Mahew, Chewbacca himself. There we go. Yay! So a lot of people to say hello to.
They only told me there was 5 outside. More like 500.
That's right.
Yeah. What I'd like to do, go through early start for about 10 minutes, then hopefully some questions, and we'll go through it slowly but surely.
We'll have fun.
We'll have fun.
Well, can I open up with
sure.
a question?
Yeah.
You come to these conventions a lot. Why is it important to you to come to the conventions, get an opportunity to meet the fans and, talk with them?
Yeah, we love fans. It's you guys that have made Star Wars what it is. Without I like to put it, without the bums on seats, Star Wars is nothing. It's you guys that are on there, and so much has come out of the organizations that have been formed. I'm thinking of the 501st Stormtroopers, biggest fan group in the world for charity. They raise more money than any other charities in the world. So it's your guys, because they're ordinary guys like you, like everybody here, and they've made our lives because of the amount of touring and shows that we do. They have made our lives so much easier because most of them have garrisons wherever we go. And they look after us, and we just are amazed how much local knowledge that these guys have. They'll tell you where to get milk, they'll tell you the nearest gas station and stuff like this. So, and milk is important. And what is not the same without a glass of milk at night, let alone the cookies. No. But thank goodness that everybody, all the fans have, over a period of time, they have been wonderful. Not only the older fans, but the younger fans. It's now 3 generations. What other movie or what other organization has gone 3 generations? Not only in this country, it's all over the world. It's, you go to Australia, New Zealand, Japan, it's all the fans are there. You mentioned Star Wars, it's either 3PO, R2, or Chewie. That's the three universal languages. How I got into it? Well, I was in the right place at the right time, said yes to a lot of people. As I say, the right time came along, knowing or not knowing what the movie was about. I was asked, would you like to do a sci-fi movie in a woolly costume? I didn't know. And I looked at the drawings and thought, well, yeah, that can be bad. It's going to be a bit warm, but my first character was Sinbad, was in Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger. I was the Minotaur, which was an 8-foot costume made out of fiberglass. This is so much easier. At least it's soft when you fall over. So that, went up, saw George, and I did what a lot of people wouldn't have done. I was sitting down waiting for him in his office, and he opened the doors, and I stood up. George walked back to Gary Kurtz, who was his producer. He said, I think we found him. Didn't even mention what particular character, but I'd done my homework and see the characters on the wall, and it said 8-foot, furry, and blue eyes. Here we go.
Well done.
It was one of those things. 20 minutes interview, and that was it. So we'd get the costume made, get everything sorted out. And the first scene I ever did was Ducky Bay 94 with Han talking to Jabba. So, but Jabba was not known in those days because he couldn't do it because of the computers. The computers were not powerful enough to do it. So, I thought, oh, this is crazy. Then we went on to the cantina set, which was even worse because there were so many different characters, green-eyed monsters, two-headed monsters. I felt perfectly normal. So we go through that, and I figured that if they were going to if I did anything wrong, my attitude was, if I do something wrong, someone will tell me. 16 weeks later, nobody tells you. I thought I must be doing something right. And it was relatively easy because if you were taking it off the other actors, you were getting your reactions off their last lines. It's the easiest way to do it. And their reaction, Chewie reacts, then it goes on to someone else. And it was just like going back to school, learning timing and things like this. And I figured, if I do it, as I say, if I do anything wrong, they're going to tell me. No, didn't tell me. I thought, great, I must be doing something right. Anyway, cut a long story short, Empire comes along. They didn't tell us where the locations were because it was going to be in Norway. -20, -30. And I went up to the studios to find out where we were going, and they threw me a ski suit, one of these padded suits. I thought, we're not going to the Bahamas, are we? So anyway, we go up there, and it's -20, -30. That was probably when my suit came in most useful. After that, I suppose if you get to that kind of temperature, you're going to be warm or relatively or cool in where studios and stuff like this shouldn't be a problem because you work it out and you know what you're after. And you do it. Jedi comes along, and we go, they're going to put Ewoks. I thought they were going to put Wookiees, but no, George decided he wanted to use Ewoks. So we had a great time. We were up in Oregon, or should I say down in Oregon. Throwing, the Australians have beer keg tossing, right? The 5-gallon beer drums. We had Ewok tossing. They go just as far. It depends whether they're empty or not. So anyway, we had a great time, and it's been a wonderful experience. Not only is it been a thing that you can be proud of, but where, as I said, you can go across the world and still have people know who you are. It's terrible at the airports. Gets you straight through. But as I say, we've been traveling around. We've been doing conventions for at least 10 years. And there isn't a city that we haven't been to apart from the Middle East, and quite honestly at the moment I wouldn't go to the Middle East if you paid me. But we are having fun, and it's lovely to be able to be there. Of course, the bonus was when Rick McCollum decided he wanted, or George decided he wanted the Wookiees in episode 3. So that made a big difference to get there and do it and come back as almost as a professor going back to college, because Hayden had no idea none of the youngsters really had any idea of what was going on, what the original story was, but they'd all grown up on it. So it was lovely to go down to Australia and be treated like a professor almost, and even the management were impressed with the costume and stuff that was going on. So I think that brings us almost up to date.
Yeah, I think so.